This week I picked Forrest Gump as being my favorite of the two movies. So, this was one of my favorite scenes because it brings out the innocence of both Jenny and Forrest and how their relationship and their friendship started on this bus. And the movie just kind of progressed and kind of revolved around their story. In this movie, there were a lot of social elements. In the early years, young Forrest meets young Elvis Presley. Later on in the movie, there's a scene where he sees Elvis on TV and makes that connection that he's seen him before at the bed and breakfast that his family owned. Then he attends the University of Alabama, and there was a big segregation issue at the university where the governor didn't allow black students to register. Then he went off to, there was a scene where he met JFK before he got assassinated. He also joined the Vietnam War. That was a huge event in our history as well. They showed a clipping of them watching, the first man landing on the moon in 1969. And then they also talk about Nixon and the Watergate issue. So there was just lots of social elements in this movie that had taken place. So throughout the movie, there was, a wide range of color and props that were used. It covers over, 3 decades of Forrest and Jenny kind of growing together. In the 1950s, you see, it's kind of more pastel kind of colors. Then Jenny goes through her, 70s kind of hippie stage. Forrest is in the war, of course, at that time. And then once you get to the late, 1980s, you see the fashion and stuff again change and the decorations of their wedding. So I think the movie did a good job of showing all the different elements and used different props within those 3 decades. So I chose this as my 180-degree shot, and it's where Forrest is sitting on a bench with an elderly couple, and the camera is facing Forrest while he's speaking, and then turns the opposite direction to see the other couple and their response and reaction to Forrest's conversation. Some of the culture statements that I got from this movie was opportunity, choices, and the journey of life. I think Forrest does a really good job about being positive no matter what he is going through at any moment of his life, from, losing Jenny to his friends to, his mom. He always has a really good outlook on life. And I think that's something that we can all take in, into our lives. And watching it as an adult, it just kind of, I just saw the movie in a different light. So, one thing that I took from chapter 6 was the fact of how the movie industry comes to find the rating of the movie. Um, it kind of gave me more of just of an insight of how, movies are rated, G versus PG-13, so forth. So I thought that was a really cool aspect of chapter 6.